Just want to tell you a little bit from a political perspective about the work we're doing on making Leeds a child-friendly city. We have enormous ambition in Leeds. We want to be the best city in the UK, and our firm belief is to be the best city, we have to be the best city for children and young people growing up. And we have had some thoughts about how we articulate our vision, and the child-friendly approach has given us an enormous opportunity to first of all, to have conversations within the council. As you can imagine, a council covering a city the size of Leeds has an enormous range of responsibilities. We have over 180,000 children and young people in Leeds. We are incredibly diverse as a city, both in terms of geography. We have, for example, village schools, but we have very large inner city schools. And we have schools that have over 50 different languages being spoken there. So the range is enormous. The child-friendly approach has enabled us to reach out beyond the council. And if we're going to achieve our ambition, we have to reach out to partners across the city. It's not something we can do on our own. And it has really captured the imagination of our partners in the city, looking at ways that we can make sure, first of all, we know what it's like to be a young child growing up in Leeds, that we have those conversations, that we listen, and most importantly, we take notice of what young people are saying to us. But you know, this week, for example, we've had engagement meetings with the business community. The social responsibility side of business is becoming more and more important, and the child-friendly approach is giving them a means to engage with us so that we can make the relationships and give them the opportunities to contribute to the lives of young people in the city. Our health colleagues are absolutely signed up to the approach. And also it's given us such an opportunity to talk across the whole city about our needs for reaching people who might consider to foster or adopt children. The possibilities are endless, and we are absolutely thrilled with the response that we've managed to achieve so far. One of the messages that we give when we go out and talk about child-friendly is that obviously people hear the term and think it's about being nice and friendly to kids, but actually, in terms of the best city approach, this is a very hard-edged approach in terms of looking at the future needs of the City of Leeds. This is about a regeneration strategy, making sure that every single young person has the opportunity to do well at school, to thrive, and to take advantage of all of the different opportunities that a city like Leeds and beyond has to offer. It's an absolutely key part of making sure that young people are matched with the opportunities available and can access all of the different things, and particularly how we work with young people who are struggling or are feeling marginalised, who aren't engaging with us. How do we actually reach out and make sure every single young person has the opportunity to do well, to thrive, to be successful, and to grow up to take the advantages of everything that a wonderful city like Leeds has to offer?
Cllr to everybody over there in Christchurch. My name is Nigel Richardson. I'm Director of Children's Services here at Leeds City Council, and just a big hello from everybody here in Child Friendly Leeds. Really pleased to have these few minutes to talk to you about our Child Friendly City ambitions and what it's done to improve outcomes for children and young people across the city. Okay, what I want to do, because we've only got a short period of time, and I know you've heard from Councillor Judith Blake on the political dimension of child-friendly city. I just want to say a couple of things that I'd encourage you to think about in your deliberations as you look at what you want to try and achieve in Christchurch, and things that were really important for us here in Leeds. And the first and most important is how you position strategically your ambitions about a child-friendly city. So we've moved this away consciously from it just being a project or something nice that's happening in the City of Leeds to it becoming a key part of our economic and regeneration strategy. So children and young people and conversations about children and young people are at the heart of all the conversations about the future of the city and the future sustainability of the city. And that is really important, and I just ask you to think about that as part of your deliberations. And the second thing I'd ask you to think about, and was really important for us, was to try and define what a child-friendly city was and what it meant to us and what it would mean to children and young people across Leeds. And so we worked really hard with children and young people, with families, with local partners, with the third sector, with the traditional agencies across the city, to talk about, well, what would it look like? And we defined it in terms of 5 clear outcomes. And when I talk about outcomes, what we mean here in Leeds are conditions of well-being, things we want to happen for all children and young people in our city. And those 5 are quite simple and quite straightforward. So that for all children and young people across the city of Leeds, and remember there are 180,000 of them in Leeds, we want all children and young people to be safe from harm. We want all children and young people to make healthy lifestyle choices. We want all children and young people to do well in learning and have skills for life. We want all children and young people in Leeds to have fun growing up. They want to enjoy their childhood. And finally, we want all children and young people in Leeds to be active citizens who feel they have a genuine voice and that that voice has influence. And all 5 of those things guide everything we do and everything we stand for when we talk about a child-friendly city. And you might want to think about what those conditions of well-being might need to be for your endeavours in Christchurch. Once you've got that established and once you can articulate that, then you can talk to the rest of the city and engage the rest of the city in conversations about their contribution, how they can help achieve one or more of those outcomes. And that makes the narrative really strong and it gains momentum and you can get everybody behind your child-friendly city ambitions. So once you've established your narrative, in the same way as we established our narrative and our vision and our ambition about Leeds as a child-friendly city, and we had the 5 outcomes there, and we were able to identify 12 priorities, and we had 3 things that we were particularly going to obsess on, and we took those conversations out across the rest of the city, so across the traditional partners, into the third sector partnerships, into businesses, into sports clubs, to local communities, into the local media, so everybody started to talk about this ambition of Leeds being a child-friendly city. But one of the most important parts of that strategy was a conscious effort to actively engage with children and young people themselves. If one of our outcomes was we wanted children and young people to be active citizens who feel they have a genuine voice and that that voice has influence, then we have to start talking in a different way to our children and young people. So I'd urge you to think about how you engage and how engaged your children and your young people are in your deliberations about your ambitions for Christchurch. So once we started talking to our children and young people about what a child-friendly city meant to them as the citizens of the future and about their investment in their city, they were actively involved in those conversations and have remained so ever since. And they went away and they came back to us with 12 wishes, 12 things that in their view, as the children and young people of Leeds, this is what a child-friendly city meant to them. And those 12 wishes underpin the 5 outcomes that we talked about earlier on and have become absolutely central to articulating our vision and making that vision a reality, and a reality that means something to the next generation who are the future citizens and guardians of a city like Leeds or a city like Christchurch. So over the last 2 years, where we've really been working hard at mobilising the city behind this idea of Leeds as a child-friendly city and articulating that economic regeneration strategy with real rigour and some focus, we've had extraordinary results. So you've got now a city that talks about Leeds being a child-friendly city. If you walk around Leeds at particular parts of the year, you'll see the city dressed in terms of its ambitions for its children and young people. Every year before children take their exams, the city is dressed to wish them good luck in their exams. Once the results come out, the city is dressed again to say well done in your exams. So the city is behind them. It matters how well they do in their exams. They're not alone when they're going through that particular ordeal. We've got a wide variety of companies, international businesses to local businesses to small organisations across the city who are signed up either as Child Friendly Leeds ambassadors, or they're mobilising some of their existing work under corporate social responsibility to align it against the brand of a Child Friendly City. It's their contribution to a Child Friendly Leeds. Every year we have Child Friendly Leeds Awards. They're sponsored by British Gas as a major organisation. They're totally run by children and young people. The local media, who are and the local newspaper in particular, who's our media partner, runs weekly, daily profiles about what's happening in Child Friendly Leeds and which businesses, which organisations are doing what. And they run stories. They hand over 2 pages a week of the local paper to children and young people to talk about Child Friendly Leeds and what's going on in education or health or sports or whatever that might be. And we've now got something in excess of 300 plus ambassadors who we meet with on a regular basis, whose sole purpose is to go out and spread the word about Child Friendly Leeds and what that means to the future aspirations of children and young people. And a huge range of businesses, organisations, sports clubs who are getting involved in the more difficult stuff. Those areas of a child's life that are more troubled or troublesome, around child protection, around safeguarding, around kinship care, around family group decision making, and that aspect of the work is going from strength to strength and actually helps the city understand what it's like to be a child or young person growing up in Leeds today and how they can all help make it better. Okay, so I hope that short presentation, that short few comments have been helpful. Really pleased that you're having the conversations that you are over in Christchurch. I know you've been through a really, really difficult time, and our thoughts remain with you as you can continue on your major rebuilding endeavours as you try and put the city back together. And I was fortunate enough when I was over there to be shown around some of the impact of the earthquake by your very own Mike Doolan. So our thoughts and feelings are with you as you approach this, but we're really pleased that you're picking up on the idea and exploring the idea of a child-friendly city. And if there's anything else we can do to help you, you know where we are, and there is somewhere on the other side of the world that is right behind you as you start to plan your next steps. Good luck, and thanks for listening.